through the diaphragm. Otherwise, this is completely isolated from this cavity. And the esophagus is the only thing that will go through. If you ever have any sort of muscle or parts down here that come through that at the esophageal opening, that is called a hernia. And a hernia, what they have to do is go in there and tuck everything back into the abdominal cavity and then sew it back up. The place that it comes in is called a hiatus. So hiatus usually means vacation, it just means a space. So this hiatal hernia is going to be what happens when it ruptures right here. And you can trace, if you go through here and under here, you can see the esophagus as it comes into the stomach. And we have some viscera in the way. But you can see this is going to be the high part of the stomach. This is going to be closest to the heart. So it's the cardiac part of the stomach, believe it or not. This is the esophagus right here. And the esophagus comes into the stomach. This is where most of the, this is where you're going to contain hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid has a pH of about 2. And when food comes into the rat's stomach, this is going to be very important because the rat eats garbage. And it's going to contain a lot of bacteria because he eats bad food. So that that pH of 2 is going to kill most of the bacteria that are in there. So by the time it comes out of here, this first section of the small intestines is slightly larger than the rest of the small intestine. And this is going to be the duodenum. In humans, it's about 10 inches. So in a rat, it's probably all about that long. At the duodenum is where you're going to have all the different areas from the liver and the gallbladder, well, not here, but the gallbladder dumping into the small intestine. So all of those juices are in here and is going to further break down all the food that's in here. So stomach is part of it. More breakdown is going on in here. Food is continually broken down as it goes through the small intestine. As it goes through here, you're going to have a lot of veins and arteries that are here in the mesentery. From here, it's going to go from here up to the liver. Everything that happens in the small intestines goes up through the liver. The liver will cleanse it before it sends it off into the rest of the blood system. So when you have food in the blood system, it's not going to be contaminated food. It's going to be cleansed by the liver first. In the large intestine, once it hangs out in the small intestine for a while, it'll go through the duodenum, then it goes through the ileum, then it goes through the jejunum. The jejunum is going to be the connecting point for the large intestine.
So if you get punched in the jejunum, do you puke?
I don't know if you'd be able to tell from the jejunum to the ileum whether one would make you puke or the other would make you puke.
Likely both would make you puke.
I'm thinking, yes. So this is the appendix again, and after the appendix, when things sit around for a while, then it takes a trip into the large intestine. So really the only way that scientists are able to tell the ileum from the jejunum is to go in and look at the chemicals that are in here. From the outside, not the chemicals, but the structure on the inside of it. From the outside, they look almost identical. The only way you can do is stretch the whole thing out and go, okay, oh, about this much is going to be the duodenum, this much is the ileum, and that's the only way that they can stretch it out and look at it. But just for trying to figure out one from the other and where the segue point is, they have to go inside and do an internal microscopic look at it and see what's what. All right, so here we go to the large intestine. When it comes to the large intestine, it's going to travel upward, and upward is called the ascending because it's going toward the head of the rat. And then it goes from ascending over here, and you can see that this is the large intestine because it has all these little poopies in it, and it goes across, and a cross cut is called a transverse cut. This is going to be transverse here, and then it travels down, and this is the descending. When it reaches this area right here, it kind of makes an S-shaped curve. This S is called a sigmoid curve, and the sigmoid curve is going to lead to the outside of the rat, to the anus, and then to the outside of the rat. Okay?
And then is this rat is a boy rat, right?
This is a boy rat. This is his external boy pieces, and we have to look at that also.
Yeah,
don't freak out, boys.
That's the part that I'm confused about.
Oh, we'll look at that then. That's not a problem. It's because we don't have all those parts. Yeah, and actually, when we're finished with the boy, then we can go over and look at a girl also. All right. Here you have the kidney.
Stuff on the outside.
This is the viscera. This is going to be the pleura, and the pleura is going to separate this cavity from the kidney. Remember how I said if you have pleuritis or that is going to affect all the organs in here. It will not affect the kidneys because the kidneys are outside that. So in order to see the kidneys, we have to cut through this pleura to see all the different parts.
What's the difference between
Up here, this is the adrenal gland. So anything above the kidney, adrenal. This is renal. This is above, so it's adrenal. This is the adrenal gland. That's where you're going to create the adrenaline. Underneath the kidney, you are going to see
what you look like inside.
exactly.
Well, I'd rather not.
What's the difference between the viscera and then the other M word that you said?
The mesentery?
Yeah.
This is the mesentery. The mesentery is on the inside.
Okay.
And the viscera is going to be on the outside. So the viscera is going to be like a balloon that covers the internal organs. And then this is going to be kind of like, how would I describe
Like
this?
holds
The
it
strings.
together?
Yeah, the strings that would hold it together. Yeah. Okay. So here we have the kidney, and we need to cut through a little bit of this material so that we're able to see the kidney structures. But what we want to see, we already can see this vein, so that's going to be the renal vein. And this little tiny thing here is going to be the ureter, okay? Urethra. That's
That
urethra,
little
ureter.
tiny string?
Yeah, that little tiny thing. Let's see. That is, I know that these are in order. I keep forgetting. Ureter. Okay, yeah, it is ureter. So this is the ureter, and it's going to carry urine from here down to, oh, see this? Mm-hmm. That's his bladder. So it's going to go from here to the bladder.
Okay.
Wait, let me make sure. Yeah, that's the bladder. Okay. And there used to be a penis, but now it's gone. You guys went right through that. Okay. Now you went, yeah, and Diego. This happened when I was doing the rat lab next door, and it was like we had rats all over the place, and everybody was dissecting them. They were all males, and we were trying to find the penis because that was part that they had on the test, and everybody had done what Diego did. They just went right through it. And finally I found one that was intact, and I was so excited. I'm like, look everybody, I found a penis. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. So yes, they are there, but most of the time they are cut off. Yeah, here you go, there's the penis right there.
We didn't even see that. How did you?
Yeah, they're kind of hard to see. This one's actually probably going to be in better shape to look at that part. So let's switch over to him.
We're done with that.
Yeah, we're done with him.
Which is going to be the beauty of next year.
And Diego, you don't want to cut, huh?
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 Hey, can you send that video to me, please?
YouTube it. I don't know how.
Just post it on Facebook.
Mr. Proctor will teach you.
Yeah, you can teach me after school today.
I bet you he wants to do that.
Oh, look, I have little pieces of spooge there showing up on me. Okay.
Oh, those testes?
Yes, they are.
Weird.
Trying to not cut through it. I just want to cut through the skin. Well protected on the rat also.
You say well protected?
Yeah. You're all excited.
Testes aren't that well protected.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Every so often, when doing the outside of the rat, well, look at this rat. He hardly has anything in here. He was all show. Okay. Ah, here we go. This is.
What is that?
It's the main's
No.
He has an extra body part.
He has some extra body parts in here. Yes. Yeah, that's part. Yeah. My goodness. All right, let's try to cut down this side and see if we can see what's in. Ah, see, now this looks a little more normal. And that happens a lot in these rats. Yeah, you might be chewing something. Here we go. This looks more familiar. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. This one is up high, so this one did not descend. This is a testes that did not descend. This is what it looks like when it is descended.
Wow, are you serious?
And that happens a lot in the rats because these rats are only like 6 or 7 weeks old.
What?
Yeah.
That's big fast.
Yeah.
Some big testes for 6 or 7
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How long do
So-
rats usually live? 6 or 7.
And by then he probably has had, I don't know, 2 or 3 litters of babies. Okay, so let's go through the list and see what we have here. Gonadal vein, that's all we see.
That's
Okay,
a
let's see.
circulatory.
Oh, here we go. Reproductive. Scrotum, that's the outside. Testicle, that's what I'm holding on to. Epididymis, that's going to be this part down here. Don't you love the way they describe that? Yeah, this is the epididymis right here.
And that's what the sperm like travels through.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what the sperm is going to travel through. So it's going to go through all this. If you open this up, it's going to look like a whole bunch of little tubules, almost like a smaller version of the intestines. And that's where the sperm go to sperm school and they learn how to be sperm. Then they go up the epididymis to here. And then this is the vas deferens, this tube. And you can see the vein that's on the side of it. So this is the tube to the vas
Can you show me
deferens.
the epididymis again?
That's what they snip for a.
Yes, it is vasectomy. This is the epididymis right here, this little area right there. Okay? Goes from there up to the epididymis. The epididymis is going to go back through here. These little areas right here are going to produce the different fluids that make the sperm viable and also give it a more fluidity as it travels. It's going to go, because this is not descended, it's making it a little bit difficult for me. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the vas deferens here too, and same thing. What they would do is just snip right through there, and that would be the vasectomy. Goes up here. This is going to be the bulbourethral gland, and then from the bulbourethral gland, it's going to go on. That's on the other side of the here we go, of the bladder. Here's the bladder. So the prostate gland on a rat is going to be on either side of the bladder. So it looks like 3 things. So this must be the prostate on either side here, and then this part is the bladder. So the prostate is going to be in 2 separate parts. Goes around there. The prostate also gives it some of the different fluids that when it ejaculates, it's going to be the fluid that you would have with sperm in it. And then it goes out here and then into the real world. Okay? Good with that?
Okay, can you go over the veins now? That is
The veins?
That is the most
His
confusing
testicle
thing.
is 10 times the size of his bladder.
Yeah, I know, isn't that something? But the bladder's empty, and the testicle was still busy.
Oh my gosh.
I know you'd wanted to know that.
Hold on,
Okay.
so if it's like full of urine, is it inflated?
Yeah, it would be much more inflated, yes. Kind of like the stomach. The stomach still has contents in it. So if we were to, you can if you want to, you can open up the stomach. Where did your stomach go? There it is. Yeah, we can
I did
actually
that
poke through
yesterday.
it.
I talked
Yeah.
to a group into cutting it open to see what was in it.
Maybe there's trash.
Wait, I want to do it. I want to do it.
Okay, here.
It looks like oatmeal. Will you video?
We are now cutting open the stomach.
Oh, you should have been doing the commentary for the whole thing.
Yesterday it looked like oatmeal.
We did earthworms next door, and
is making the incision.
there we go. And the earthworms, of course, were full of dirt.
Oh my gosh.
It does look like oatmeal.
I can never eat that again.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Good thing I don't eat oatmeal.
The aroma is even stronger now.
Yeah. Isn't that what you needed?
So nasty. Why did you make me do this, Diego? I'll take your job, Mr. Proctor.
Got a lot of school to
Okay.
go to do hers or mine.
What else do
You
we
cover
have?
it back up with the intestines.
Is that
That's
it?
the stomach.
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's actually the biggest.
Are those the lungs?